Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Life is suffering. That's the reality. From the moment we are born, we are fragile, vulnerable, and subjected to forces far beyond our control. Chaos looms around every corner, and tragedy is not an exception, it is the rule. And yet, here you are, listening, breathing, existing. Why? Because despite everything, life is still worth living. The alternative is despair. The alternative is nihilism. And there is nothing good there, nothing but resentment, destruction, and the void. That path leads nowhere. And if you look at history, at literature, at your own experience, you know this to be true. When people decide that life has no meaning, they crumble and they take everything around them down with them. But there is another way, and it is the way of responsibility, of meaning, of truth. You cannot control the fact that suffering exists, but you can control how you respond to it. You can stand up straight, shoulders back, and face the chaos head on. You can choose to pursue what is good, what is meaningful, what is difficult but necessary. And when you do that, when you bear your burdens with dignity, when you confront the unknown with courage, you create something real, something solid, something that justifies the suffering. Think about the people who depend on you. Think about the small things you do that make a difference, the kindness you show to a friend, the work you do that contributes to the world, the moments of beauty that exist even in the darkest times. These are not trivial. They are what make life not just bearable but profound. They are the proof that meaning exists, that purpose is real, that life, despite all its tragedy, is worth the struggle. You don't have to fix the world all at once. That's impossible. But you can start with yourself. You can take responsibility for your own life, and as you do that, you lift up those around you. And if enough people do that, if enough people decide that life is worth the hardship, then the world itself becomes better piece by piece. So, do not give in to despair. Do not retreat into bitterness. Stand up, confront the challenges ahead, and act as though what you do matters, because it does. And if you do that, if you face the suffering of existence with courage and purpose, you will find something undeniable, something profound, that life, no matter how difficult, is worth living. Life is inherently difficult and filled with suffering, a reality that we cannot escape. From the very moment we are born, we are thrust into a world that is unpredictable, challenging, and often painful. No one is immune to this truth. Whether it is physical pain, emotional hardship, loss, or the inevitable decay of time, suffering is an intrinsic part of the human experience. This is not meant to be a pessimistic view, but rather an acknowledgement of the truth that we all must confront if we are to live fully and meaningfully. Suffering comes in many forms. There are the unavoidable aspects of life, such as illness, aging, and death, which affect everyone. These natural processes remind us of our own fragility and the transience of our time on earth. But suffering also arises from human experience, relationships that fall apart, dreams that remain unfulfilled, the stress of daily responsibilities, and the internal struggles of our minds. Our desires, expectations, and fears often set us up for disappointment. The very fact that we aspire to grow, to improve, to achieve something meaningful means that we will inevitably face obstacles, setbacks, and failures. And these hardships can feel overwhelming at times. The difficulty of life is not something that can be avoided. People may try to escape it through distraction, substance abuse, or denial, but the reality of suffering always finds its way to the surface. It is important to understand that suffering is not something to be feared or ignored. It is a central part of what it means to be human, and trying to shield ourselves from it entirely only robs us of the chance to grow and become stronger. In fact, it is through adversity that we often discover our deepest sources of strength, resilience, and wisdom. This is not to say that suffering is enjoyable or should be sought out, but it is a reminder that we cannot have joy without contrast. Just as light is defined by darkness, pleasure is often understood through pain. The difficulties we face give us the opportunity to develop character, empathy, and a deeper appreciation for the moments of beauty and happiness that emerge in between the struggles. Life's suffering is not meaningless. It is the very thing that allows us to find meaning in the good moments, to rise above the chaos, and to shape our own destinies. Nihilism and despair are tempting responses to life's inherent difficulties, but they ultimately lead nowhere meaningful at least. These worldviews, which assert that life is meaningless or that existence itself has no inherent value, may appear to offer an easy escape from the burden of suffering. But in truth, they offer only a dark abyss where nothing truly matters and nothing is worth pursuing. The allure of nihilism lies in the promise of release from responsibility, from the heavy weight of finding purpose, and from the expectation that we must strive towards something greater. But the consequences of embracing this mindset are devastating both for the individual and for society. At the core of nihilism is the belief that nothing has inherent value. If life is truly meaningless, then no action, no effort, no relationship holds any significance. This outlook can lead to a deep sense of emptiness. Without purpose, the individual has no direction to follow, no goals to strive for, and no reason to invest in anything. This lack of purpose is the very essence of despair. When you believe that nothing you do matters, the drive to improve, to grow, or to contribute is extinguished. This void of meaning becomes an ever-deepening spiral that consumes the individual, leaving them adrift in a sea of hopelessness. But nihilism's true danger is that it perpetuates the cycle of despair. People who embrace it often disengage from life, retreating into apathy, addiction, or cynicism. In this state, the challenges of existence become insurmountable because without meaning, nothing can be overcome. The individual may try to numb the pain of existence, but this only leads to further self-destruction. The paradox of nihilism is that it promises freedom from suffering, but it only deepens the pain, turning it inward and amplifying it. Despair doesn't solve life's problems, it exacerbates them. Instead of confronting suffering and finding meaning through it, nihilism simply withdraws, allowing the chaos of life to sweep over the individual. The absence of meaning in life doesn't remove the burden of existence, it magnifies it. The path of despair leads to nothing but a hollow, empty existence. In contrast, the refusal to give in to nihilism and despair opens up the possibility of meaning, growth, and resilience. By embracing life's inherent challenges, by striving toward goals, by cultivating responsibility and connection, we can turn suffering into something transformative. In this light, even the darkest moments can become opportunities for growth. Nihilism and despair may promise peace, but they deliver only stagnation. True freedom, purpose, and meaning are found in the pursuit of what is good, despite the inevitable hardships of life. Meaning is found through responsibility. This is a fundamental truth that lies at the heart of a life well lived. It is easy to look at the world and feel overwhelmed by the chaos, the injustice, and the uncertainty. In such moments, we may wish for a way to escape from the weight of it all, but the answer is not to run from responsibility, it is to embrace it. Responsibility in all its forms is not a burden but a pathway to meaning. At a basic level, responsibility means recognizing that our actions have consequences. The choices we make, the way we treat others, and the work we do all matter. When we choose to live responsibly, we take ownership of our lives. This means facing the reality of who we are and what we can do. It involves recognizing our role in the world and understanding that our decisions shape not only our own future, but the lives of those around us. This recognition is the starting point of meaning. But responsibility is not just about individual choices, it extends to our relationships, our communities, and even to society at large. When we take responsibility for those around us, when we show care and concern for the well-being of others, we create a sense of interconnectedness. Responsibility binds us to the people we care about and to those who depend on us. It is through these bonds that we find purpose, for it is often in the service of others that our lives gain the most significance. Taking responsibility for others, whether it's a family member, a friend, or even a stranger, forces us to think beyond our own narrow self-interest and to consider the broader implications of our actions. In a world that often emphasizes individual freedom, responsibility can sometimes be seen as a limitation. But this perspective misses the truth. Responsibility is what grants us true freedom. The freedom that comes from taking responsibility is not the freedom to do anything we please, but the freedom to align our actions with our values, to choose the path that brings us closer to who we want to become. It is in accepting responsibility that we break free from the randomness and chaos of life. We gain control not by evading responsibility, but by actively choosing to carry it, shaping our destiny rather than letting circumstances dictate it. Responsibility is a source of strength. The challenges we face, the difficulties we encounter, and the burdens we bear shape us. They give us the opportunity to grow and develop resilience. Every time we face a responsibility head-on, we are forced to confront our limitations and push through them. Over time, this builds character, and we begin to see that we are capable of more than we once thought. It is through the process of taking responsibility that we discover our own potential. There is also a deeper philosophical dimension to responsibility. It is in the act of choosing responsibility that we affirm our belief in the value of life itself. If life were truly meaningless, why would we bother with responsibility? The very fact that we choose to take responsibility suggests that we believe life has purpose, that our actions have significance. Responsibility is a declaration that despite the suffering and chaos in the world, we will strive to make things better. It is a refusal to give in to despair or nihilism. It is a commitment to living in accordance with what is right, what is just, and what is true. Meaning is not something that is handed to us. It is not a fleeting experience or a momentary feeling. Meaning is something we build step by step through our willingness to take responsibility. Responsibility forces us to engage with life, to confront its challenges, and to seek the good even in the face of suffering. It transforms us, shapes us, and connects us to others. It gives us purpose in a world that often seems devoid of it. And in embracing responsibility, we find that life, with all its difficulty and complexity, is rich with meaning. Small actions of kindness, effort, and perseverance matter more than we often realize. In a world that often celebrates grand achievements and monumental successes, it's easy to overlook the significance of the seemingly minor gestures and efforts that make up our daily lives. Yet it is these small actions that form the foundation of meaningful lives, contribute to the well-being of others, and create a ripple effect that reaches far beyond our immediate circle. Kindness in particular is a powerful force. It doesn't always have to be expressed through grand gestures or monumental acts of generosity. Even the smallest acts of kindness can have profound effect. A kind word to a friend who is feeling down, a smile to a stranger passing by, or a simple thank you can all brighten someone's day in ways we may never fully understand. Often, the people on the receiving end of these actions carry them with them long after the moment has passed. We never truly know how much a small act of kindness can impact another person's life. It might be the very thing that lifts them from despair, restores their faith in others, or motivates them to pay it forward. The beauty of kindness lies in its cumulative power. Every small act adds to a greater collective good. When one person is kind, it often inspires others to be kind, creating a ripple effect that spreads across communities. Kindness is contagious in the best possible way. In a world where negativity can spread like wildfire, the impact of small acts of kindness can be equally powerful in fostering a sense of connection, compassion, and community. Effort, too, plays a crucial role in creating meaning. We often think of effort in terms of big achievements, working hard for a promotion, finishing a degree, or accomplishing a long-term goal. But effort is also required in the daily tasks that seem ordinary or mundane. The effort it takes to show up consistently, to do what needs to be done, even when it feels like there is little immediate reward, is essential to creating a meaningful life. Whether it's doing your best at a job you don't love, making time for your loved ones despite a busy schedule, or taking care of your mental and physical health, these actions all require effort. The truth is that much of life's meaning comes from the act of simply trying. The willingness to put forth effort, regardless of the outcome, fosters growth and development. In moments when we feel like giving up, it's often the small, consistent efforts that allow us to push through, learn, and improve. Even when we don't achieve immediate success, the effort itself cultivates resilience and character. Perseverance is the key that ties kindness and effort together. Life is unpredictable, and the path to achieving anything meaningful is rarely straightforward. There will always be setbacks, challenges, and moments of doubt. But perseverance, the ability to continue despite obstacles, ensures that we don't give up. It is perseverance that enables us to navigate through difficult times, learn from failure, and keep moving forward with purpose. It might take months, even years, before our efforts bear fruit, but perseverance ensures we don't lose sight of our goals, no matter how distant they may seem. The importance of small actions, whether they are acts of kindness, everyday efforts, or persistent determination, cannot be underestimated. These actions, while they may seem insignificant in isolation, accumulate over time, shaping not only our own lives but the world around us. They contribute to a culture of goodwill, growth, and perseverance, creating an environment where each individual feels valued and motivated to continue striving for the betterment of themselves and others. In the end, it is the sum of these small actions that leads to profound and lasting change. Small acts of kindness, effort, and perseverance may seem insignificant on their own, but their cumulative impact can be truly profound. It is easy to underestimate the power of these everyday actions because they often go unnoticed or don't appear to lead to immediate visible results. However, when combined, they have the potential to create a ripple effect that touches not only the individuals directly involved but also the broader community, leading to lasting positive change. Kindness is one of the most immediate and accessible ways to make an impact. A kind word, a thoughtful gesture, or even a simple smile can brighten someone's day, lifting their spirits in ways we might never fully understand. People often carry these small acts with them, especially when they are experiencing difficult times. A moment of kindness can become a reminder that they are seen, that they matter, and that there is goodness in the world. Over time, these little moments accumulate, creating an atmosphere of compassion and support. Furthermore, acts of kindness tend to inspire others to be kind in turn, creating a ripple effect that spreads beyond our direct interactions. One small act of kindness can multiply, influencing a chain of events that extends far beyond our reach. Effort, too, has a cumulative impact. The consistency with which we put in the effort, whether it's in our work, relationships, or personal goals, shapes the trajectory of our lives. It's not always about grand accomplishments, but rather the steady persistence in doing the right thing, even when it seems insignificant. By consistently putting in effort, we improve ourselves, create value, and contribute to those around us, even if we don't immediately see the results. Whether it's making time for loved ones, doing a job with dedication, or maintaining healthy habits, each small action builds upon the last, leading to growth and progress over time. Perseverance is what ties all of these elements together. Life is full of obstacles, and it's easy to become discouraged when we don't see immediate results. However, when we persist in our efforts, even when things are difficult or when progress seems slow, we begin to build resilience. Over time, perseverance transforms minor efforts into significant achievements. It teaches us the value of patience and the importance of continuing even in the face of adversity. Each small step forward, no matter how small it seems, contributes to a larger journey of self-improvement and positive impact. It is the consistent accumulation of these small acts of kindness, effort, and perseverance that shapes who we are and creates lasting, meaningful change. Though they may appear inconsequential at first, together they have the power to influence our lives, the lives of others, and the world around us in ways that are both profound and enduring. Consistent effort and perseverance, even in the face of challenges, are essential components of personal growth and the pursuit of meaning. In a world that often prioritizes quick results and instant gratification, it can be tempting to view the continuous grind as futile or discouraging, especially when immediate rewards are not apparent. However, true growth and lasting fulfillment are cultivated not in the fleeting moments of success, but in the ongoing process of pushing through adversity, maintaining effort, and refusing to give up when things get difficult. Effort, in its most meaningful form, is about more than just hard work. It is the conscious decision to invest time, energy, and attention into something that aligns with your values and aspirations. This could be the effort you put into developing a skill, building relationships, or achieving a long-term goal. In the short term, it may seem like the progress is minimal or at times non-existent. But when you look at the accumulation of small steps over time, you realize that consistent effort creates a foundation for something greater. Personal development rarely occurs overnight. It is the steady, day-by-day commitment to improvement that allows for transformative change. Perseverance is what sustains effort through the inevitable challenges life throws our way. Every individual faces setbacks, obstacles, and moments of doubt. It is during these times that perseverance becomes crucial. Perseverance is not about ignoring difficulties or pretending that things are easy. It is about acknowledging the struggle and deciding to continue moving forward despite it. When things are hard and it feels as though progress is slow or non-existent, perseverance keeps you going. It helps you push through periods of failure or discouragement, knowing that it is through these very moments of difficulty that growth occurs. In fact, challenges and setbacks often provide the most valuable lessons. When we face obstacles, we are forced to confront our limitations, adapt, and find creative solutions. This is where real growth happens, not when everything is going smoothly, but when we learn to navigate and overcome adversity. Perseverance teaches us resilience, allowing us to adapt and bounce back from disappointments. It builds our character, helping us develop qualities like patience, determination, and a deeper understanding of ourselves. Ultimately, consistent effort and perseverance are the cornerstones of a life of meaning. They remind us that meaning is not something that simply appears or is handed to us. Meaning comes through the process of striving, of taking responsibility, and of confronting life's challenges head on. When we remain committed to our goals, even when the journey is long and difficult, we not only make progress toward achieving them, but also cultivate the strength, wisdom, and resilience needed to live a meaningful life. In conclusion, the significance of life is not found in avoiding responsibility, fleeing from difficulty, or resigning to despair. Life is, undeniably, challenging, filled with suffering and hardship, but it is precisely through the bearing of that suffering, through the embrace of responsibility, that we find meaning. It is not the grand gestures that define us, but the small, everyday actions, the kindness we extend to others, the effort we put into our work and relationships, and the perseverance we show in the face of adversity that accumulate over time and shape the lives we lead. These actions may seem insignificant in isolation, but when they are woven together, they form the fabric of a life that is not only worth living, but deeply meaningful. You must act, and you must act with purpose. The path forward is not one of comfort or avoidance, but of confronting the challenges you face with courage, integrity, and a sense of responsibility. It is through these small yet powerful actions that you create a life of value, a life that will impact those around you and leave a legacy that endures. Remember, meaning is not something that will simply fall into your lap. It is something you must choose to create through the decisions you make, the actions you take, and the responsibility you bear. And in doing so, you will find that despite the suffering, life is not only worth living, it is worth living fully.